Hey everyone, today I'm going to be swatching the brand new NYX Cosmetics and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina palette. This is the Spellbook palette. This is a very versatile palette. This retailed for around 45 Canadian dollars. With tax, it was like around 50. I think in America it is 35 US dollars, and this is limited edition and it's been selling out like crazy. Honestly, if you want this palette, definitely go look for it now because they are selling out really fast. I personally wasn't sure if I was going to get it, but obviously I did get it. If you want to see my swatches and my overall thoughts, just keep watching. Look sure to enamor, cast a spell of bewitching glamour, embrace the night or behold the light with the spellbook any match is right. So that you guys have seen the swatches, let's talk about this palette. Honestly, okay, yes, this palette is overpriced for a drugstore NYX palette, right? But Honestly, this palette swatched pretty okay, I would say. These are all the eyeshadows. It honestly was decently pigmented. I didn't really have any problems with swatches, and usually I do. Some of these shades are more sheer, like the top one is definitely more a glittery top coat. But I don't know, this actually didn't swatch that bad. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm very curious how this will work on the eye. I do feel like some shades probably will be difficult to blend out, like the black and the darker shades, but honestly, I think that this has a nice variety of colors, and that red, I'm still shocked with how beautiful it is. It really is nice. I do definitely think that they could have had a mirror here. That is one big complaint I have for the price. Like, for $35 US, there should at least be a mirror. Like, even if it's just like a smaller mirror, and then with this with lettering on it, I think that would have been much better. But besides that, as for the blushes, I swatched them on my other arm, as you guys have seen. They're pretty. I mean, the two blushes will work on my skin. The highlighter I'll probably just use as a blush topper. They're pretty, you know, they're not really my super style. I would have preferred more like mauve tones, but I definitely think this works for like a Sabrina palette. This palette did swatch pretty good for a drugstore palette. Like, I am honestly pleasantly surprised. Honestly, my favorite shade probably has to be the bright red. Like, it just was such a good formula. And honestly, some of the shimmers were really pigmented too. These two shades here, the like magenta and this like purpley black, it was so weird. Like, I had to rub them into my skin for the color to show. So that was a really weird formula to deal with. But once I did, like, they're pretty pigmented. So I'm not totally sure what was going on with that. But honestly, this palette is beautiful, and I'm very excited to use this on my eyes. It's definitely a palette that I don't really have anything like, because I don't really use these tones often, so I think it's definitely a good palette to have just for, you know, the hell of it, honestly. So, of course, like I said, I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to get this palette. I'm not a neutral palette sort of girl, but I really like the show, and honestly, the shades in here are pretty cool. If I could open it, I do like that it's like a spell book. Excuse my nails, they're not perfect. And honestly, this color story kind of spoke to me. Like, even though it is more on the neutral side, I do think there are some like pretty fun colors in here. That being said, obviously this highlighter is going to be way too dark for me. As you guys can see, I'm pale as all hell. But as soon as I saw pictures of this palette, I did want it just for the price. Like, honestly, $35 US is kind of really expensive for a drugstore, in my opinion. Like, I would much rather spend $35 US on multiple ColourPop palettes than one drugstore palette. And personally, NYX Cosmetics is always hit or miss when it comes to their formulas. That being said, I think this is definitely more so like a collector's item. It is like a book. I was really happy when I found this in Shoppers. There were only 2 left, so I got the second last one. I like that you were able to open it and it still has that protective sleeve. This is what the palette looks like with the sleeve on, with flash and without flash. The blushes in here look gorgeous. I'm actually really excited about this palette. It's definitely more beautiful in person. I've heard mixed reviews, so I'm curious. There are 30 eyeshadows in this palette, and then 2 blushes and 1 highlighter, I think. This first shade, called Cunning, really makes me think, if I knew where I was pointing, this really makes me think of ColourPop Tinsel or the Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm. That's really what it makes me think of. Do I think you need this palette? I think it depends on who you are. If you know you won't use these shades, then no. But if you like the show and you also like NYX and you think you'll use these shades, then I'd say go for it. Swatch-wise, they're pretty nice. Again, swatches do not dictate how they will work on the eye, but they swatch really beautifully, so I have high hopes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Comment down below any videos you'd like to see me do. Go follow my Instagram, MakeupByTashaXO, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, you. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's my new palette. Why are you standing on it? Yeah, hi. What are you doing? Hi, pretty girl. Please get off my palette. Thank you. Glad to know that is what you think of this palette, Chloe. What are you doing? Well, Effie was, yeah. Hi. What are you doing? Yeah, you're a brat. We all know that. Yes, Effie, we all know you're a brat. Hey. You. Hey. Hi. Oh, hi. Hi. Cute.